Hey guys, how are you? Thank you for being here today. I wanted to know with a show of hands, how many of you have a guest who comes in and asks for something more than they're booked for in that day? Hands up. How many of you have refused service because of a lack of time? What if I were to show you two really simple techniques to give two different effects with one bowl so that you could limit your mixing time? Would that be something you'd be interested in? Great. Guys, my name is Cade. I am a master stylist. I've been in the industry for 30 years. In those years, I have worked in corporate education. I have done editorial work, I've done stage work, I have owned my own salon, I've worked behind the chair continuously through all of those things. And I'm here today because I know that you and your team are in the market for a new hair color system. And here at Redken, we'd like to introduce you to some of our hair color. One hair color in particular is our up to 7 dedusted lightning system, which I think you'll enjoy. I'm going to introduce that to you today, as well as the developer choices that go with it, and two really simple, easy techniques. But before we do that, I'd like to say thank you guys for taking the time out of your day to spend with me in professional development. I admire, respect, and thank people for taking time to hone in on their craft. I think it's really important. That's something that I like to do. And I know that here at Redken, we like to say that we learn more to earn more, and so that we can live more quality lives outside of work. So today, we're gonna have some techniques. I think that'll be really easy and really salon friendly for you guys to understand. I think you'll enjoy them. I think they're relevant, and I think they're quick and easy. So let me introduce you to some tools that I brought for you guys to use when I'm not here, so that you can take a little deeper dive into the systems that we offer at Redken. As you'll notice, there are two posters that are related to the techniques that we're going to be using today. We're going to be using a baby light highlight technique, as well as a modern balayage technique. At the bottom of each of those posters, there's a QR code that will take you to our Redken Pro site. On that Pro site, you'll find a video of each of these techniques that's a little more in depth with some of our Redken global artists. So I'd love for you to explore those. When I'm not here, I'm going to leave the posters behind for you. I also have a poster on the developer choice that we'll be using today, our Pro Oxide Cream developers, and our up to 7 lightener dedusted lightning system. On the bottom of each of those, there's a QR code as well. That QR code will take you to the Redken website, where you can find information on all of the color offerings, as well as shampoo, styling, and hair care products that we offer at Redken. So I'd love for you to explore those a little bit later today or in your downtime. The videos you can just click on and listen to on your drive home or on your ride home, whatever that may be. So those are like for home play and home exploration. I also brought for you guys some of our head sheets. You're more than welcome to use them today, although I think our techniques are pretty simple and easy to understand, so you may not need them. I like to have head sheets in my station so that if I want, if I have an idea of something I want to do, I like to map it out, or if I put a particular color somewhere, I like to kind of take notes. So I'm going to leave those behind for you, as well as a copy of your own QR codes that are not on the poster for you guys to do some self-exploration a little bit later today. So again, my name is Cade. I'm here today to talk to you about our lightning system, up to 7 dedusted lightener from Redken, as well as our Pro Oxide developers. And we're going to be using those today in 2 techniques, so let's jump right in and start talking about those. Our Pro Oxide Cream developers are a stabilized developer system. We offer 10, 20, 30, and 40 developers. They provide a very predictable and very predictable results, a very creamy, beautiful consistency for all types of applications. Up to 7 lightener, which we'll be using today. This is the 30 volume that I used in today's demo, but we also have a 20, a 10, and a 40 that I can leave for you to experience today if you'd like to. This is the 30 volume. Then we're going to get into our up to 7 lightener. Up to 7 lightener is a dedusted lightning system. What does dedusted mean? You know, when you go to mix your color and all that dust flies everywhere and gets all over your color mixing area and you cough a little bit. This has gone through a process that limits and keeps at bay the amount of excess dusting that you'll see. So it creates a little safer of an environment for our colorists. It can be mixed in a couple of different ways. You can mix in a 1-to-1 ratio for off-scalp applications such as balayage, foil work, freehand work. Or it can be mixed in a 1-to-2 ratio for on-scalp applications. The up to 7 lightning system lifts up to 7 levels in 50 minutes. And it's a beautiful, beautiful choice. You'll see today, I love to use it because of its ease in using in different ways. So I'll show you that in just a little bit. This is the up to 7 dedusted lightning. We're going to talk about 2 different techniques today. So first we're going to do a baby light technique. Baby lights are micro-fine weaves. Everybody's done a baby light before. Baby lights are nice because they mimic natural dimension in the hair and they give a very graceful grow out depending on the effect that you use or the amount of baby lights that you put in. So it can be really, really soft or it can be a little more high impact. Either way, because of the micro weave, it does have a little bit of a more graceful grow out. In this scenario today, I think something that we're all hearing right now in the industry is that people want, and I less than love the term money piece, that people want a focal point or a focus point, something in, like a face framing focal point that will be a little brighter in the front. So today, in this scenario that we're using today, I did a face framing or a focal point in the front with baby lights so that would be a little bit lived in and a much more graceful grow out. So if that guest wants to have a high impact, beautiful hair color, but doesn't want to maintain the commitment of being here every 4 to 6 weeks, this will look beautifully lived in 6, 8, and 12 weeks. And then we're going to move from that modern, from that baby light application into the back of the head, and we're gonna bring in a modern balayage technique. Balayage is something that we all hear all of the time. It's one of our most popular techniques in our industry right now. Balayage, by definition, means to sweep. It's a hair painting technique. What's great about balayage is from the moment you apply balayage, it has a very limited line of demarcation, so we get to control that as artists. Modern balayage technique is very similar to a classic balayage technique. Again, the video is on the QR code, but it's a little more customized for our stylists. So you have a little less of a harsh line or a little less of a system. It's a little more freeform, a little more freehand. And we're going to do that in the back of the head so that we move from that baby light focal point to a soft lived-in color, trailing back slowly with a blonde. I'm going to show you now on the mannequin head, the pre-work that we did. This particular mannequin was done, again, we did like a soft baby light focal point in the front. So there's a really soft, depending on how the hair is worn, it can be a little brighter or a little softer. In this scenario, it's just a little gentle face frame. I did go back in and gloss this with a clear and a 9. So it kind of took some of the brightness out, but I don't mind that because I do love a lived-in color. And you can see we moved from the focal point in the front to a very soft, modern balayage in the back, just kind of trailing down a little bit of that highlighted piece. So I'm going to show you now how we did these 2 looks. Again, in these 2 looks, I used 30 volume, up to 7 dedusted lightener with 30 volume, and I used in a 1-to-1 ratio. Why I chose that is because of the beautiful consistency of the product and the ease of usage. So I'm going to show you now how that looks when it's mixed. So I've already pre-measured 30 milliliters of the Pro Oxide 30 volume developer and 30 milliliters or 30 grams of the powder. I'm gonna go ahead and mix those and show you the consistency. There are a couple of things that this product has that make it so easy to use. One is there's so many conditioning agents that keep the product hydrated and soft while you're using the product in a foil. Again, it's up to 50 minutes of processing. But the coolest thing is it has one particular ingredient called xanthan gum. How many of you have heard of xanthan gum? Yeah, okay, so it's actually an ingredient in the gum that you chew. But what's really great about this particular product is that in the up to 7 lightener, xanthan gum is present. That does a couple of things. It acts as a coupler. And if you think of gum encasing the hair, it keeps moisture and hydration in. And in a balayage technique, it keeps transferal at bay. So if the color touches uncolored areas, it won't transfer. So it makes it ideal for going from a foiling method to a balayage method. Got a little bit of it out here, but you can see what a nice, like, rich, creamy consistency this is. And you'll notice, like, pro tip, you'll notice that I measured out my powder, put a little in at a time, just like a baker. If you put the dry ingredients into the wet ingredient, you get a little better consistency. So it's just a really beautiful, nice consistency. So I'm going to show you that now. And I'm going to allow all of you to see this. Okay, so I'm going to show you the sectioning that we did to make these two techniques really simple and really easy. So for the baby light sectioning, we decided that we wanted it to be a focal point. So I took a small section in the front of the hair. I took one small section, kind of from recession to recession, and then from the recession just to the back of the ear. So in these areas, depending on your effect that you're looking for, you can do, these baby lights can be done in any direction you want, depending on your effect. I'm going to show you a little bit of how I place the top, just so you can understand kind of the effect I was going for. So in these baby lights, I took small microweaves in each section, taking the first microweave right at the crown, right at the hairline. After, let's see, if we get this sucker. There we go. After placing this foil, I wanted it to look lived in, and I wanted it to kind of have, again, a soft grow out. So I'll go ahead and place this so you can see the placement. So with your baby light, you're going to just take a really nice microwave. And when I'm working in the salon, oftentimes I'll do this first foil in a particular color, like I might use a black foil or a red foil. I'll do the microweave. And then so that it has a nice grow out, I'll show you just a second. As I work through this section, I'll find my color, Oftentimes I'll use a different color, and then what I'll do is I'll carry each section down, and I'll use that lighter foil as my placement. So by the time I get almost to the top of the head, it's very lived in because I've got almost an inch of new growth. And that allows for a beautiful kind of trail back into the balayage piece. Now, the balayage piece is kind of, again, a modern balayage, a twist on classic balayage. So what I've done is I've taken this back section and I've sectioned it out. I created, using a mesh piece, I created a little place for the balayage pieces to fit. So depending on how your aesthetic or your preference in balayage, you can use a balayage board, you can use a mesh, you can use a foil. And what we do is we take about a 1-inch section, carry this out, and as you balayage, I use a smaller brush. In balayage, you know, the saturation is usually on the ends, so we start about mid-shaft and work our way up, depending on the effect that you're looking for. The modern balayage, and the reason I put this particular, the reason I wrap this section with the piece of mesh is so as I work this section, I can then go in and just lay my balayage piece and continue to moving forward. Or you can work side to side, whichever you prefer. And so that is the technique. I think it's really easy, it's salon friendly, and I think it's really beautiful. And again, the team players in this were our Pro Oxide 30 volume developer and our up to 7 lightning system dedusted lightener. So I think this would be an easy way for you to implement. And again, at the bowl, I did gloss with a clear and a 9 from our Shades EQ system. So what do you guys think? Do you think this is something that you could implement into your day today? Awesome. Thank you guys for taking time to view this. If you have any questions, I'll be around for the rest of the afternoon. And again, we have QR codes for you to self-explore anything you might need to know about Redken color. And I do have some samples and some things that I'll be delivering to you before I leave. So thank you guys for your time. And I can't wait. I look forward to working with you. Thanks.